for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real, might get you canceled. The whole system need to dismantle. Coppers treated like the utmost wanted. Tryna rule the block but don't know what goes on it. News got a story with a new take on me. Carrying out the window with the screw face on me. But I know that God love me when my burn 95 degrees and I can't get sunburn. Wonder when your government don't make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my please, Brad, I earned that. 400 years, how you still ain't learned that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the trying to gentrify the genre. Tell them free my middle finger to your honor. In the days coming down the seconds on the timer. Goofy still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look they give me in the Whole Foods. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm limping cause my heavy. But ain't sweet, think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, Bob, I bought that. 400 years, how you still ain't caught that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
Yes, my brother, we are live. We are live. Let me open up the screens so we can.
All right, brother.
Yes. Let me do a little rearranging here. And
okay.
Let me open this up.
I see you into full-fledged production. I like that video. Yeah,
yes.
That's movie. That's movie material.
We did a lot of work today. We took a lot of footage up in the backyard, Mr. Scurv, showcasing things we do have, and I'll be working on it within the next 24 hours, and it's really an eye-opener.
Oh, great.
And she's
great.
Got to shower. You see how sweaty I am? We've been running today, and we hung out with Sister Lazia. 75 was going to be coming on to the show.
Okay.
But she's going to come on incognito. And we're going to talk about a few things. And like I said, the work is flowing and everything is good. the positive energy's up, and we're unstoppable. We're gonna keep on.
Yeah, I see,
on,
man.
I
see you steamrolling.
Yeah, exactly. That's keep on rolling. That's the main thing.
Yes,
but yeah, I'm so looking forward to what we have to speak on today, and it's a beautiful thing. You're a very powerful man, and you bring a lot of powerful information. And the way you do it, it's not where it's a guessing game. You know this stuff. You study it. You live it. And the bottom line is that we have very few teachers. If you look in the Black community today, if you go to the schools, they're not going to teach us stuff. If you look at what Ron DeSantis remove our stuff out of the curriculums, the bookstores in the Black neighborhoods, they're taken away. What do we have? Except this culture that they say is ours, but it's robbed and mixed in with all this other stuff and this Dwayne Wade type of stuff, if you know what I mean. And they get yeah. We'll move over here where you can see me, right? And I had to celebrate and say, hey, 22 years in a month of the game, cyberspace, content every day from 2001. Everything is on LanceScurv.com, but it was before on SCURV Originals and just all over the internet. So we're gonna vibe on that strength. We've been here. We're rooted.
Absolutely.
Johnny come lately.
Absolutely.
Out. And that's why we have to showcase you, brother, because you live this life and you put work in, not just somebody who replicates what they heard somebody else or verbally plagiarizing. You put in the study. So take away our bookstores and don't want to tell our history in schools. Brothers like you are very important to say it because they can't stop that part, But
exactly.
Talk to me.
Well, Brother Lance, yeah, man, I was just sitting here listening to you. Every time I listen to you and think about the volume of work you produce, one of the sad things about our people, and by the way, what you produce is equivalent to what was produced by ancestors back in the ancient times, like at Timbuktu and places like that. But
thank you, bro.
Because it's the truth, but because we follow the narrative that has been established, I can't think of a university that has done more for our people than what you have done. And that is an honest statement.
That's
because
a heavy statement. I'm not. I accept it, but I mean that is a heavy statement. And all I want to say,
it's true.
It's true.
Do you know that they don't teach? They don't teach truth to our people like a person like you who have spent 2 decades or more educating our people on deceptions, manipulations, and how these systems continue to destroy not just us, but the generations coming behind us. And that's very critical because in universities, even in our own so-called universities, they are still replicating the oppressive curriculum that we have always lived under.
See, what I wanted to say to piggyback on that is that, like, I was in a discussion, and I'm probably going to do a live at some point tonight. This will go on as long as necessary, all right? Because you here is very important. But the hustle of us, like there's some who are here that profess the upliftment of our people, but it's a hustle. And I found out, and later on I may not call this, but I will share it, in private, but even out here in Ghana. And I will say this, without saying the names, as a precursor to what I talk about later on. When I hear certain things going on, and you can tell I just got the shower because everything's all wrinkly, but you know what? We got to speak truth. Wrinkles need to be there too. I'm going to get old and wrinkly too. But
so, man, you're not old.
I know, so I'm not even trying to grow. But I don't mind what I look like. I'm a vessel here to do something.
Exactly.
I get satisfaction doing what I do. When the tires wear down, then trade me in. But as long as I have lubrication in the engine and I have treads on the tire, right? And the windshield wipers work, the gauges work, I'm good. We're going to take this thing till the wheels roll off. But I thank you for that statement and acknowledgement. And you know, with me, there's no ego. But the way I do it, I'll say this much. I try to show the human element and the real proximity of our people, and I trick them sometime by having all different types of content that draws them in. And, you know what I mean?
That's what I love the most.
Yeah, do the artwork.
You're not pigeonholed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to anybody on any level. And
right.
If it's to be, but I'll relate. So I'm not putting myself up as some high, supreme, all-knowing potentate of this. No. But I'm gonna sneak up on you, and that's what I do every day.
Yeah, and you let the people speak. The people speak. Anywhere you go, people are gonna be dictating their narratives to you. There are very few places or platforms you can go on where you're allowed to speak your mind, which is the real first constitution. It's the fact that you allow people to speak their mind without censoring them. And see, this is what the problem is. Even if you go in a classroom and you're so-called getting an education, which we know is a deducation, you're still going to be taught in reverse, and then you're still not going to be taught the whole truth. And one of the things too, brother, I just want to say, because you know, every opportunity we get, we take things for granted too much. You know, we don't know if these people are going to cut us today, tomorrow, or whenever. But we know that when we get an opportunity to communicate with each other, we must speak in truth and put aside the self-hate, the jealousy, all this crazy stuff that we deal with. But I just want to make this point to you and your listeners that I know from, you know, being in the trenches and trying to build stuff for years, I know how hard it is for you to produce the volume of work that you produce. And not only that, to fight against this beast, okay, tooth and nail, be on your side. I think one time when you and I was talking, I told you about how awkward it must feel when you have to fight the enemy and you gotta fight friendly fire. You have to have an incredible amount of strength, which you have, and stick-to-itness to produce this kind of work, this type of volume, and nobody else will say it, but I'll say it. This is why we love you so much. It's because you have and your wife have sacrificed to get. Where else would this information be? Where else would we be able to go and speak like this? I can't think of very many places. So, you know, I know you don't pat yourself on the back a lot, and our people always, you know, withhold their flowers. But I just wanted to say to you, brother, I appreciate you. I appreciate the work, the hard work you put in, and how you don't judge people based on the narratives that have gone before us.
Right.
That's facts.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. That's heartfelt, and just most people don't know, you know, and it doesn't. At the end of the day, as long as the work gets done, it to me. It doesn't matter. It matters, but it's not like, well, I'm looking for mine now. I did all this. No, it's not even that. Just gonna get done.
Right.
You know, as we get into a older chronological age, and our children or the youth, whether you have children or not, it's that who you fed into. Those are your children,
right?
Even if it's not biological, right. And they're your grandchildren, even if it's not biological, and great grandchildren. Look at the people who have done so much for us that we don't even have a picture of them. We don't even know what their voice sounds like. You see what I mean? Go
Oh
back
yeah,
to
absolutely.
1600. Go back to all the suffering and stories that will never get told. So for me to be able to have a platform, step back and let somebody tell their story. If they want to come back every day, fine. As long as I have nothing going on live, I hit the buttons. Hey, I might have to say I'm going to the kitchen, something. I'm going to the shower. Talk. You know what I mean? Then
Oh yeah.
The real live human element, because even on a different subject, like with what I do with the political illustrations, many historians would know the facts of what is going on at a certain time period, say 200 or 300 years ago, but they would always be those political illustrators who put a little humor in a situation to get the real feel of it, what was really going on, to breathe life. Because we can say at the Battle of so-and-so, 263 soldiers died, and this happened, that boom, boom, boom. But what happened, that thing? Where do we get the information on a human level where we can really absorb what this thing was like, right? And even now, in this day, we don't realize that we have been pulled away from television, which is not a bad thing. We need to get back into the books, and conversation and oral history. Those conversation, oral history in the books. Because and I'm going to shut up after a while. I want you to talk.
No,
but
why?
No, but I'm just, see, the thing is that slowly but surely, and I said it 2 or 3 years ago, that we're entering into the age of censorship. You see, when we YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, it gave us this stuff from kid. And now we're leaning on it and depending on it. It's almost, and I hate to refer it to a crack house or a crack that's normal. When he mixes this up, he does it stronger than the other guys. So
exactly.
Those come to him. And then eventually, if he ice up a little bit,
whether he kills them or not.
Right. See? So right now, they got us hooked. They married the smartphone with social media, and we got to have it. We leave to go to work. We get 15, 20 minutes down the road, and we don't care if we're going to be late. We got to have our phone. I'm calling in late when I get home because, I got to have my phone. So now that they in their clutches like a spider in the web, now they can dictate to us what it is that they want us to do. And in the age of censorship, I couldn't say any certain things now on YouTube. I'm just coming off of a ban of speaking about their low birth rates. I said they don't know who I'm talking about, right? It hit me for a week. So I did all my work anyway and uploaded it in the last 2 days. What I'm saying is that now they're going to actually attempt to change the narrative of history by what they hold back.
No question.
Yes. And what they push forward with. So now our perception will be changed because we're going to swear up and down that what they say happened, it happened that way because they presented certain things and didn't give a well-rounded narrative of what really is. So
let me say,
period,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that we can't say what we really want to say here.
Right.
Change it all, and we have to be quiet. So now it's a different game plan with me while I be doing stuff on the audio and Patreon and stuff where we can really, on the membership page, where I can speak freely and we all can speak freely because we're being boxed in, and eventually they want to silence us. See?
Yes,
so brother,
they do.
I want to continue on. I'm right here, and I'll dry off a little bit of and put some pants on.
Okay, brother. So I just want to, as always, but I wanted to piggyback on something you just said. That is not weird, but it's funny you would say that because the youngster that I had here the other day that I was mentoring, he was like, "Well, Neil, why is it that black people keep saying that black people are the only ones that were in slavery?" And then he pulled up something where they showed white people, right? Like, on a boat, like they had just come being brought in chains and stuff. So I said to him, I said, listen, you have to know the difference between what an indentured servant is, because they were already, the system they had there in Europe, they were already serfs, and a lot of them were in prison. There's a difference between shackling somebody in chains and forcing them to work, okay, for centuries, and bringing an indentured servant from England to get rid of them, by the way, the bad seeds. Tell them they have to work for 7 years and then give them property, okay, and set them up here. That's a big difference between somebody being so-called emancipated and walking off of a plantation with only their clothes on their backs and building a civilization from the ground up. And boy, his eyes lit up. Because, see, like you're saying, they're trying to literally change history. And he said, oh, you know what, Neil, I never looked at it that way. And this is how they not only are teaching our children now, but they have taught our children who are, 20, they're not children, but young people are in their 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. They have been taught the same thing, because one of the mistakes we're making is we're not passing down our history. A lot of our people who have contributed very heavily to the development of Black civilization and American civilization, you don't even see, or you don't hear their names, you don't see their books, but that's our fault.
That's right.
Okay. But one of the great strengths that we have is that we're able to pass down our history orally. Okay. And because we, did all kind of things, telepathy, we could communicate in all kind of ways. We didn't really worry about, having to me, they always try to make it seem like, and these calcified people always teach you the wrong way to learn, because that's not learning.
Right, right.
You write something down and look at it every day, or you don't give a damn how many times you look at it or how many times you write it down. If you're not doing it, it don't mean nothing. You got these people running around here, and I'm gonna let you go in a second, bro. I know you. Yeah. No, I mean, I know you have stuff to do, but listen, you said something very, very critical just now, and that is that they are trying to change history right here. The last 400 years here in America, they're trying to change.
Yeah. Not
trying, they are doing it. So yeah, I'll get into the subject, brother.
No problem.
Okay.
I'm here talking, man, because I know people could feel the authenticity. This is not a script. We love, we'll say we, like all of us, or we're nosy or whatever, but when you're in the checkout line at Walmart or Target or whatever, and you hear somebody on the phone getting down in the conversation, or two people, and you can't help but hear it because they're loud, it's sweet in a way, because not that you're being nosy, but when two people are
or ear hustling,
even if we jumped around and it's live, it's sweet. It's like, wow, they talking, not like sitting here anal retentive and yes, my name is LanceScurv.
That's right.
63 and all. Who wants to hear that? We're going to have a real flow of energy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's so much more. And I've noticed, like, a lot of time we have people come on, or family and stuff, and it's like, Lance, am I jumping all over? Like, no, that's how we talk. Like, before, you sitting somewhere by your auntie's house, your grandmama's house, with your mama, whatever, the phone ring, girl, I went to the store today, they got a sale on collard greens. Some greens are good, but you know what? I saw that on so much money, and I saw, it's true, she's pregnant, but I don't know who from. Like, they done jumped around. That's how we do. Boom, boom, boom. We can. It's like verbally juggling. Our minds are so expanded and powerful. We can't even see it in that. where we can multitask. Like I said, I got 5 tracks in my mind, and even though I'm talking to you now, there's 4 other things going on.
Right.
Do something else,
Right.
and boom, boom. I'll get up in the middle of the night. I'm gonna say it like this way. I get up in the middle of the night to pee, and the thought hits me. I was like, I got to go live. I got to record something, and just record something. It flows that way. Last night, I was playing some old music and literally was crying tears.
I believe it.
And it was like a Marvin Gaye made me want to holler, and I had a video with it. Show Black Lives. And I said, man, we must. And it's not about just saying we're suffering, but there's things that we need to do. Like we're as good as our weakest link, right? And I can't be here doing progressive things and not think of the weaker links. I can't. I'm in Africa now. We're building this house, and I'm okay. No, I can't do that. I mean, I almost woke up. I was straight. I was.
Oh, wow. And it's
say that on another time that I'm probably just going to record. I was deep in my feelings about this because I take this thing serious, man. It hurts sometimes to see how we're treated, how we treat each other, how we don't think of ourselves. All these things that bother me, and I'm like, I'm seeing our greatness. What's up? And you like you
said, that's 50 years ago, huh?
Coming at us.
That's 50 years ago. That's 50 years ago. We just let things go so long, right?
This thing. I'm not going out. But I mean, it's like even if somebody was jumping my loved one and I was 90 years old, I'm gonna get me a kick in that bad boy. On that note, brother, I'm gonna let you start. I have another band to put on that is gonna stuff on. But we just got back from the property, and like I did all this video. So you're gonna enjoy that when you see it. Everybody's gonna enjoy that when I put it up tomorrow, but I work on it tonight. I'm gonna just dry off and put something else on. I threw the shirt. I didn't even dry off after the shower. You see, I'm still sweating hot, and the lights on.
Yeah,
it make me sweaty. This towel and just keep hitting me. But start out. I'll be right here. I'm gonna run to the kitchen.
Okay, do your thing, brother.
Right here, enjoy me again. All right.
Yes, sir.
The floor is yours.
All right. Well, hello everyone. I want to greet you again, and I'm glad to be here. As always, sharing with the family. It's good that we get an opportunity to talk because many times, things are going by so fast, we don't really get a chance to comprehend things, to comprehend it. So again, I'm always grateful to be able to come on and talk with you guys about subjects that are very important that, won't be discussed in the regular media. And actually, it's our job to do that. We can't be upset with people withholding information, with the same playbook. So with that said, today, the subject is the guardians of the universe, who the Black man really is. And, I don't want to get into, a lot of the metaphysical stuff. I'll just talk to you about the practical reality that we have experienced here, what we're experiencing now, and where we're headed. Why do I say that we are the guardians of the universe? If you watch a show on space, one thing that is being shown now a lot is that the black hole, you can't escape a black hole. Once you're in its orbit, then it's just a matter of time before you're sucked in. And so the reason why we were taught in reverse is because they want to eliminate the fact that throughout nature, wherever you go, whether it's in the heavens, in the celestial sphere or terrestrial sphere, that at the root of everything is blackness. In fact, light came out or comes out of darkness. And as a guardian of the universe, you must comprehend this principle, because everything that you are taught from the minute you come out of the womb is taught against blackness. If you think about it, if you were not who you are, then why has there been millennium dedicated to destroying the very history that you produced? Why do those who control the mechanism of education want to teach you something that's against your natural self? So people always say, okay, what is the big deal with natural versus artificial intelligence? There is a very big deal. Okay? Because again, let's just use basic biology, okay? If you look at the brain, you're taught that every function that happens with you, the brain is the catalyst for that. That is not true. Okay? People with melanin, like we have, okay, their connection with energy can bypass the brain. Okay, it doesn't have to go through the normal neuronic synapses in the brain with the stems in order to connect with that energy. Okay, so that makes you unique in the sense that you're connected with all things in nature, even outside of your own brain. Now think about that for a minute. So why are you taught this? Why are you taught that everything is hardwired through your brain? The simple answer to that is that the individuals who constructed this educational system, okay, has a one-dimensional way of viewing life. Okay. And when you have, well, I can't speak because I don't know what it's like to have a calcified pineal gland. I can only look at what is produced from it. Okay. But when you have a open pineal gland, then you are not subject to artificial laws. Okay. And that's the best way that because I have people, communicating with me, and that's always the biggest question. Artificial intelligence it can be used for things to put forward ideas, to advance technology, all of those things. But it cannot be the definitive source of knowledge for you, because if it is, which it has rapidly become, then it's going to change the very fiber of who you are. And that is what's going on right now. So if I can create a world that's separate from the reality of your melanated cells and tell you that you're not validated until you reach this standard, then that means that you're going to have to become somebody that you're not. Now, here's how they always confuse our people. They find some of these people they call motivational speakers, and the first thing they do is they deny the spiritual strength that you have inside of you. Okay? And the way that they do that is by telling you that you have to, if you want to become somebody that you've never been, then you have to do things that you never have. Now, that is a very tricky statement. Okay? That's a very true. There is some truth attached to that. Okay. The problem is, again, and I have to go back to this, that we are the natural carriers of the universe. I'll give you an example. If you take a hologram, okay, and you split that hologram into 1,000,000 pieces, each one of those 1,000,000 pieces has all of the chemical aspect that it needs inside of it to produce, okay, the same effect that the primary hologram did. And this is who you are. I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking about, okay, how does life begin for people? Well, we know that sperm is released into the egg, and this is an adult show. So if the children are there, they still need to learn about things depending on how young they are. Let's stop treating our kids like our young people like they're toddlers. This is why they're finding out all this garbage from other sources, because we're not talking to them about truth. Okay. So what you have to keep in mind is that you are constructed because of melanin, because of the way that you receive information. If you look at the brain, okay, and this is very important to comprehend. When we are seeing things, or what you term sight or seeing, you're not really seeing. The brain is inverting the picture and giving you an idea of the things that you interpret yourself as what that image should be. But having a first eye, the way that you really receive this information is totally different than how normal people, how people with a calcified gland look at this, okay? Because this does not enter into their sphere of awareness like it does us. So they focus in on that one area or that one thing that they're seeing, and that becomes a reality. For melanated men, we see the full spectrum of light. We hear the full spectrum of sound. Okay. And as I was mentioning, if you look at how many sperm is actually put out, okay, when males release sperm, okay, if you're looking at 300 to 500 million of them from one individual, then if you have 90%, and see, we have to start thinking about basic things, okay? If you have 90% of the people in the world that are melanated, and the percentage of those males that actually put the sperm out is so overwhelming, okay? When you consider that less than 10% of the people in the world are putting out the same sperm, when you do the count. Okay, so then you're looking at something like an egg as opposed to a globe. Okay, you get the picture now? So just from this alone, and just from using this example, I don't want to go too far into that, because now we got these regulators who stand against the truth, because they know that the minute your pineal gland is open and activated, see, this is the other thing, okay? Your pineal gland can be open by virtue of the amount of melanin you have, okay, and by the virtue of other um, aspects of your being that's within and without, okay. However, and this was something that I found out that it can be blocked, okay. I've been to a show by a world-renowned magician, and trust and believe your mind can be blocked. I've also been in the room with a lady who had the ability. She was a clairvoyant. Okay, so I'm not guessing at this. These are experiences that I've actually had. And she was able to recreate a incident in history where we actually could see the partitions. We could see the geography. We could see the buildings. It's a stunning. And every time I mention that, even thinking about it right now, I get chills from that. Because prior to that, I didn't know that this type of power. I knew it. I've heard people talk, but I had never personally experienced it until that day. And I remember she fainted, actually, and she had some handlers. They had to take her out. So what has happened? What has happened with us is that we have been so programmed in the wrong way that it is going to take a Herculean effort for us to turn this around. One of the reasons why it's going to take such a big effort is because our people still love these twisted ways. Okay. All of us have it in us. You know, you can't be. I remember something Lance used to say all the time. You can't be in a trash container and come out and not smell it. Okay. And so all of us are affected by this. But now, this is why it's important to have a metamorphosis or a paradigm shift. We have to do this. The reason why we have to do this is because no matter what you do, no matter how many awards they give you on TV, nothing is going to change until we turn our minds away from these spells. And we take on the challenge of teaching our own children. As you see, I usually have the picture of Bob Marley, or I usually have the picture of Yeshua. I'll let you guys figure out what this is. One of my favorites. But I want to get back to what I was saying, is that why we are the guardians of the universe, because the people that have set up the system to destroy the creator system, which operates the creator-creatrix system, which operates through you, is that they have taught you to hate everything associated with you. When in fact, okay, like one of my friends was telling me his son was laughing at something I said in terms of, I don't care how light or white you are, you still can be sucked in by blackness. And that's literally true, not just in the universe with a black hole, but if you genetically, okay, get with anyone from any other culture, at the root of that being is blackness. Okay. And so we have to move beyond this fear now that they have perpetrated on us since 1619, where, you know, we live in fear of whether or not they're gonna, because it's very childish, okay? You're gonna take away our money or our means of making money. You're going to turn us against each other because, there's only so many crumbs and we're all hungry. You're going to play all these little satanic games to keep us at each other's throat. These things are going to continue. What our problem is we continue, okay, like Lance was mentioning about Marvin Gaye. That's over 50 years ago. I remember the same issues with the police killing our kids in the streets, and how they are doing all these things in the Black community with the water and polluting the water, and the electric and gas bills are super high. They did all of this in the 70s. This is just a reenactment. But what's so fascinating is when you think about this, it's like we've been in a coma for 50 years. This is why I advocate that we play our music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s around our children. Do not listen to these people that are telling you, oh, that's old school music. Really? There is no such thing as time, okay? Or there is no such thing as time as we know it, okay? So what you're calling the past is really a part of what's already in us. It's just being birthed. So a lot of this nonsense, okay, that have been perpetrated on us, we have the ability to stop it. But our people love this degradation, man. This is a reality. This is a cold reality that we must now face. Because there is no way, I'm not even going beyond 50 years. There's no way that you can have 50 years to go by and we not do one thing to change what was happening then. And this is why I'm calling for a think tank, okay, that we have to start discussing these things, because I don't think we really comprehend something here. These people are going to take out our next generation. They're going to be back in slavery. And I'll never forget when I heard Dr. Claude Anderson speak in Baltimore back in the 80s. And I heard him say something. I was young then, but it really stuck with me. He said that by the year 2000, and I'm not sure what date he was saying, but he was saying in the 2000s. By the time we get to the 2000s, Black people are going to be in slavery again. I was like, what? What does he mean? How is that possible? But he was talking about economic slavery. Because you see, just like with our lives, whatever you have done in the past, they never let you forget. They never let you forget. Even though the hypocrisy that they use in religion, when they say, oh yeah, you're forgiven for all your sins if you accept this. Really? What sin are you referring to? Because if that's the case, you are still nailing Black men to the cross. Okay? And you may not be physically lynching us, but you are castrating us. You are cutting out our, and I want to be careful on Lance's show, because I know that they hate us to speak truth to our people. Okay? But at the end of the day, why would someone continue to kill millions of people from a specific culture, race? Okay, well, there's only one race. That's us. Everything comes out of us. Okay. But why would I continue if I have all the resources? Think about this. Why would I continue to kill you? Why would I continue to deny you economic right and stability, rights and stability and solvency? Why would I deny you the right to have your own businesses, your own banks? Why would I do that? You only put up defense mechanisms, okay, or fight or flight type situation against a threat or a perceived threat. So why are you so threatened by us when you have taken all the resources, you have everything, you have our people fighting for crumbs and fighting against each other, and then even the people you bring from other countries, they watch videos that you teach them to hate us, to come here. So let's take the gloves off. Why do you do this? And then you want me to go sit in a church and listen to your BS, okay, when what you say is you will know them by their fruits, that we have had over 400 years of fruits that we have seen. And nature teaches us, you're not going to get oranges from an apple tree seed that you plant. So let's quit all this foolishness. And I say to my people today, what is wrong with you? They're not hiding. They're openly defying us, openly defying our history, openly lying to our children. And you're standing back like, you know, it's incredible to me. And this is why the Academy of Netter One, Nature, stands against this. We oppose you. We oppose your system because your system, you are a liar. A real government is for its people. Okay? But the problem is, in this country, our government is controlled by factions outside of the United States and the corporations in the United States. This is the problem. And so the individuals who are benefiting from all of the resources that our ancestors sweated from sun up to sundown, okay, you're sitting back here acting like you're still denying us access, okay, to the wealth that our forefathers created. Now, why would you do that if there was an evil intent? Tell me. So why would I pray to the same God that you're praying to? Why would I quote the same scriptures that you quote unless I'm quoting it from a different perspective? But this is the issue I have with my people. Okay? This is the issue. What more proof do you need? What more proof do you need that we have to build our own? Even if you don't like me. Even if you don't like Lance. Look at the fruits. So you see, this is what the problem is with teaching our children. Because no matter what you say, children are not stupid like we are. And I know people get mad when I use that word, but I'm trying to shock somebody today. Okay? These people are not playing. And when I go out here, I'm dealing with these real beasts, and they telling you in your face, you ain't got enough people backing you to do what you're trying to do. Okay? So what I want to say to you today is, what more proof do you need? What more proof do you need that these people, through destroying and erasing our history, which you don't have copies of the books from a lot of our scholars, and this is why I'm saying to you, you don't have pictures in your home of our people who have sacrificed their lives. You don't teach them this history. The hell with the school system. They don't have to teach this our history. We should be teaching our own history in our homes and wherever you are. What makes you think that the same system and these same people who they may not be physically lynching you now, but they are lynching you in every other way you can think of. But yet you refuse to come together to try to fight against this. But then we're going to be angry at the people who are. We're going to be angry at Chinese people. We're going to be angry at Latino people. We're going to be angry at Filipino people, Indian. We're going to be mad at everybody else. But those people are like right now, there's a friend of mine. And if I go to his shop, okay, people all day long while I'm sitting in there doing work with him, all day long, people from this country coming, all day long. And he was saying to me, he was like, Neil, how's the school going? I said, okay, you got jokes, huh? Okay. And people that come from other countries, they cannot understand this. Everybody can see this is a mental illness. We have to talk about this stuff. This is a mental illness. When we have a church in our community, one church that throughout a year can collect $1 million, where's this money going to? And our communities look the way our kids, there should be seed money. We should be able to identify children in our community, have seed money where we can send them. They don't have to go to no university. They can get actually, it's better now to get a trade than to get stuck like they did our generation, and they're still doing, okay, with student loans, okay, which is, I don't even want to talk about that, but I want to talk about the fact that we need, because right now, okay, there are other cultures who can build a house from the damn ground up. Our kids don't even know how to change a battery in a car. See, these are the things that we have to think about. We're not always going to be here. Okay? We need our younger people to start understanding that they're in a war. Okay, you can sugarcoat it all you want. They're in a damn war. And if you're crazy enough to keep going, sending them to McDonald's and sending them to all these fast food, Burger King, and all these places, you're contributing to the demise of our people. And I made up in my mind, I was visited by an entity a couple nights ago, 3 nights ago. I made up in my mind, I'm not going to be sugarcoating with my people no more, because I don't know when the last time I'll get a chance to. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not. It's nothing involving sugar. And when I get these inspirations, it sometimes is so vivid that it makes you shudder. And so I was talking about Claude Anderson and how, and this whole inspiration that I had 3 nights ago was based on what he was saying about economics. They are going to shut you down. They know everything you depended on. They know you're not unified. They know that if they shut down certain things, and being in the solar business, I have learned so much. Okay, I've learned so much about how these entities operate. And they're going to hit you where it hurts. That's why they don't need to know what city you live in anymore. All they need is your zip code. And for the life of me, I don't understand why we're just doing nothing. We're in a state of inertia. When you look at the three laws of motion, okay, inertia is the first state, or entropy, where you're not doing anything. You're neutralized, you're neutered. And why is that? Okay, you are a sun. In fact, without you, nothing would happen. So, what happens? Heat is the element that makes everything go into motion. And when you're not bringing the heat, okay, like a LanceSCurv does, okay, like his wife, Mrs. Scurv, with the health thing, if you're not bringing the heat, you might as well be cold. When you have heat, you have 12 melanated neurons right here that no one else in this world has. You better understand who you are and why these people fight so hard against you. And we have to educate our young people. Okay? We have to. There is no more time to waste. So I spend a lot of my time researching different curriculums in different states, and it's I can't even put it into words. You guys do not know what's going on. The other big problem is the effemination of our young boys. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, and frankly, I'm not trying to get Lance's show shut down. But we cannot change our young boys into girls. This is a direct attack on the creatrix and creator spirit. And when you do that, you are setting up a situation where you don't comprehend the type of judgment that's coming against us for this. You know, all this stuff about, you know, you can be whatever you want to be, okay? Just don't try to change our kids into something that's going to put them diametrically opposed to the creator creative spirit. Don't do that, okay? Now, they'll put us in a situation in these school systems where they're trying to send our kids to the same bathrooms. They're trying to do all this degraded stuff, and we're not going to go for it. Okay, I don't care how much you like me. I ain't going for it. No, it's not right. It's not consistent with nature. And nature is our greatest teacher, because this is the way that the creator communicates to us and the creatrix through energy. And if there's a separate energy for the masculine and feminine principle. And every time, this is why you're given these different laws in religion, because they're not based on the creator's laws. Okay. Now, if you transgress against natural law, there is a higher price to pay. Because unlike what you have been taught and what you believe, okay, the creator of the universe is nothing like us, okay? It's nothing like us. Don't have these type of, you know, this has nothing to do with your feelings or our feelings. So when you go into a building and you get all emotional and you feel like you've let off the stress or let off whatever it is that's bothering you, that doesn't change natural law. Just because you change somebody's whatever, that doesn't change the natural laws. Okay? And so they're trying to link this with Black people. But when you go back in our history, there are even African countries fighting against this. When you go back in our history, this did not exist prior to the Greeks coming into our land. This did not exist. That mindset it never existed. So getting back on point about being guardians of the universe, that means that you have to take on the responsibility of upholding the laws of the Creator. To whom much is given, much is required. You can't just go out here and run willy-nilly, okay, and then start blaming other people because they're not doing that. No, no, no. So what people do is they go back into our past and they try to find something, and they find our own people to try to bring us down. But you see, to these individuals, I say to you that there's no way you could stop the Academy of Net. There's no way. Because see, I don't function off of the things that the majority of our people you have hooked on. I don't need those things. So I'm not judging the progress of the Academy on your standards. Even if right now, even if I reach 2 or 3 kids, young people a day, that's enough for me. But the only reason I can't reach more of them is because we don't comprehend and understand the importance of us linking up together and putting forward our own narrative or creating our own narrative. But we're going to let these people destroy our storied history because we don't want to fight back, or we don't want this nigga to have more than me if I send him $5. Come on. This has gotten ridiculous, especially when I have to go to these forums and see these people from these people are building, man. And they're not teaching nothing about no black folks, okay? Some of them do. Some of the my Latino friends and other people that I share certain things, they honestly did. They be shocked. They're like, really? But whose fault is that? We spend so much time arguing about who's right, who's professor this, who's scholar that, who knows more. What the hell does that have to do with anything? If we don't build, and don't get me wrong, because I don't want people to say that I'm putting on the professors. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when we have our people who have the knowledge to educate our children, okay, we don't need to be arguing back and forth about which approach is the best. Okay, it doesn't matter. Each person's approach, as long as they're bringing something to uplift our people, is important. Okay. So what our people have got to come to the realization of is that we are the original man and woman. Let's stop looking to other people to create narratives for how we validate what the hell we do. And by the way, I'd love to hear the ideas on what you think that is, what that picture is, you guys. And you know, I apologize. You know, the love I have for my people, sometimes it lights a fire in me. I have to control it. I'm usually calmer. But today, I just felt this burning need to let our people know that we have to fight back. Stop listening to this garbage. And our own kids now are on these platforms degrading our people. Why are they doing this? Because there are entities that can give them paper money give them a pseudo success lifestyle, and they never leave anything for their families, or they never build anything. They just ride around with big chains and cars, luxury cars, and throw money up in the air and all this stuff. But this entity that came to me showed me something very frightening. And it had to do with Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about with economics. I don't know how it is. There are certain places that you go that you're not even wanted. I was talking to a sister I saw, and she said, well, I don't see very many black people come down here. I said, well, I was just passing by here. I get out because, I'm out talking to people and find out what's going on. And she said, yeah, she said, they don't have no black people working in there. And I stopped in there a couple of times, me and my sister, and they looked like they didn't even want to serve us. And I was like, wow, really? That's unusual. That's unusual for here. Because even if they feel that way, they're not going to show it. But she was like, yeah, I got this real strange feeling. Yeah, okay. And then I was thinking as I walked on, I said, man, there's going to come a day. Is that possible? Where they can actually say, no colors here again? Is that, if you think about how our system is set up with, private entities, that private owner has the right to reserve you, and they have that in the window. Okay, they have a right to say, well, we're not going to feed you for whatever reason. You can complain all you want, but and this was a reoccurring inspiration that came to me. I had it before. That there are going to be black people standing outside of these stores like Safeway, and Kroger, and all these different stores. They're going to have armed guards there. And you're not going to be able to go in there and get. So if you're not growing your own food, you're not going to be able to go in there and get food. Your kids will starve. And I'm not trying to frighten anybody. But I think at this point, our people need to be frightened somewhat, because we're still in a state of inertia. And this is crazy. We need to look at it like this is if you had an emergency situation, you're not gonna call an ambulance? What is it that we're missing? And I can answer that partially. One of the most difficult things, because we've been in a state of inertia for so long, one of the real battles that we're going to have to fight, just like the young brother that was shocked about white people being enslaved, because black people being the only ones in slavery, because they are teaching these lies and making them true. Okay. Yeah, they're indentured servants. Yeah, they opened up the prisons and said, okay, you can go to America, be an indentured servant for 7 years, and then you can get property. You and your family can start whatever. So you have to comprehend that how are we going to move forward in a game using the same playbook? One of the biggest things that coaches do, and this is why, when teams win, it is the players, but it's also the coach's ability to make adjustments at halftime. Okay. And if you are not able to make the right adjustments, I don't give a damn how good the players are. If the other coach has figured out a way to neutralize your number 1, 2, and 3 options, and you are operating off of, your fourth option, you got a problem. We're not even operating off of any options at all. We don't have options. But this could all change. And it's going to have to change. And I'll share a little bit about what was the inspiration that was given to me was that, and I didn't want to look at it this way at first, but it's a sort of judgment, okay? And I studied this because I wanted to know, a lot of times through religion, we're taught that judgment is like God has some feelings. Oh, you did something against me and I'm going to punish you. No, it's not that. It's when you transgress natural laws. Like we're not supposed to be eating anything but what's grown in the ground and on the tree. Okay. When you violate that, and then you go to the hospital, we're going to pray for you. But this person's been eating what kind of food I'm thinking about? Pork and fried foods all their life. But yet now you're going to go to the Creator and say, heal this person. Okay. That is not how it works. Okay. You don't get to be someone who's healthy, or say like Lance is at his age, or how I am at my age. And Lance is a lot younger than me. But the thing is health is very, very critical. Okay, we cannot fight. See, the other thing too is these attacks on us, because we are the guardians of the universe. You have to comprehend this is a war that is eternal. And this is why they gave you this story about a war in heaven. Okay. No, the war is right here. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but the war is right here. And as long as you keep thinking that there's some damn war in heaven, you're going to get snowed under. The war is here. They've already planned out the strategy for the war. And it is impossible to continue these lies and perpetrate these systems if the individuals who are benefiting from it did not agree to keep perpetuating this system. Because anybody, okay, that has their chakras open would look at this system and look at the treatment of Black people and say, something is wrong with this. That's why I have no respect for religion. How in the world could you go and sit up in a place and clapping and praising and quoting scriptures and walk right out and knowing that you are partly responsible for Black kids dying in the street, okay, for Black people not having no jobs or businesses or able to, you are directly responsible for that, not totally. But the point is, and not playing a victim card, because certainly we're not victims, okay? We are not, Black people are not victims, okay? Where our problem comes in at is, and when you don't think, and other people have to think for you, this is where they lose respect for you as a culture. Okay. What if all of a sudden they decided, well, we're going to stop sending toilet paper to this zip code where 70% of the people that live there are Black. You're going to go back to using leaves? But how about you researching people from your culture that are in these industries that you can help facilitate or even partner with? See, we have to change our way of thinking. We cannot continue to look to these systems and these people we have to teach our kids to do for self. Okay? Now, this is why I've always liked the message of the Muslims, always. Do for self. Okay? I've studied the Quran. I used to go to the temple back east and listen to different things. And they're very practical ways of seeing life. Nobody's saying you have to be no perfect person. What we're saying is you have to start thinking about doing for yourself. And in order to do that, you have to help other people that look like you. Nobody should have to, we should not have to beg each other for help. We should be focusing on, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a good example. Because I don't talk about a lot of these things, but these are conversations that I have with people who, are moving in that direction and doing things that are, outside of our culture. Because a lot of times when I talk to people from other cultures, I'm trying to find out what is it that we're doing wrong that they're doing right. And some of these people haven't even been in this country 5 years. And I'm thinking to myself, what is it? And it always comes back to that same common thread, is that these people don't view money. They don't view, they view success based on the American model, but they don't view that apart from their own culture, is what I'm trying to say. And they know the importance of helping to build their own first. See, we build everybody else up first. And yeah, I have a little edge today, like I said, because I talked to a friend of mine who I know, he just basically started. I inspired him. And he basically started about a year ago. Okay. A Latino friend of mine. And boy, they are doing it. They have so much support, he don't even need no more support. He's trying to get me to incorporate with him. And I'm saying, no. Black people have to have their own separate. He was like, good luck, buddy. This is crazy, man. This has got to stop. We look at all our brothers because the narratives that they have set up, that they want to be flashy, that they want to be, man. When I think about being a millionaire, when I think about that, I think about how many gyms recreation centers I can open for Black kids. When I think about how many how I could support Lance and his wife to help build a farm for Black people to show them how to grow. These are the types of things I think about. I don't think about, oh, let me go out here and buy me a Mercedes, or let me go out here and buy a house and rent it out to people. Eventually, that's down the road to help our situation grow. But what our people have to understand is you have to have seed money, and you have to have seed intelligence in order to build something. Okay? We have to change the way we look at things. And we have to start looking at ourselves as guardians of the universe. This is who we really are. So and I'll give a little comedy to this, but if the creative spirit did have feelings, you'd be in bad shape right now. If Black folks, you'd be in real bad shape. Because they have given us everything. Everything. You just don't see it. Right now, Black people in this country has the power, okay, to change our entire situation right now, today. And I often say this, Black people are not poor. Black people are what? The 8th richest nation on the planet? Just right here in America. But we're poor here and here because we look at spiritual knowledge as emotional knowledge, and they are two separate things. Okay. So I wanted to, some people be saying, well, he's preaching to us. And, that's the way we look at everything. If somebody's preaching, I'm not preaching. I'm just trying to add a little bit of like what we say in the world of sales. What they say is put some urgency on it, man. Put some urgency on it. And the urgency is that um, the longer we let things go without acting, okay, then we are setting up a deeper hole for those coming behind us. Because again, and I said this on the last show, we don't know that our kids have pride. You can see the hurt in their eyes when they have to go to these very same people that they know treat us the way they treat us, keep us in the condition we are in, but yet they have to go to these same people in order to get money. And and when they don't get hired, then they go out with a gun or with a knife or whatever they can, and they prey on their own community. Now, I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying this is wrong. Okay, but what options? I'm not making excuses. They can go out and do things. But what I'm saying is that if I had a cat and I had a cage, I wanted to put that cat will scratch my eyeballs out not to get in that cage. Okay. So this is the same level of frustration that our kids feel. I know because I talk to them. People sitting back looking at them coming out with all of these things about our kids. Most of our kids, the majority of them, want to do something positive in society. The majority of them do. But what's happening now is because people our age are acting like teenagers and not giving direction. There's nothing wrong with supporting the kids. Unless they're out here harming somebody, you can support their ways of expression. But when they're expressing harmful things, we have to clap back against that. We can't stand around and co-sign these things because now the people who have constructed these systems to destroy us, they don't have to do nothing. We're doing everything. They don't have to do nothing. So here's the honey. I'm so proud of my people. I'm so very proud to be a Black man. I'm very proud of that. And with the understanding that the creator of the universe chose me to be a melanated man, to have all access to all of the creator systems, not man systems, where I can fluctuate through the spectrums of light, sound. My body's strong. My mind is strong. Well, I still have, I have to thank the creator for that. But I also know that there is an entity that's fighting just as hard to destroy me and people that look at me. I never forget that. Like Dr. Clark said when he was talking on one of his presentations, he said Hannibal's father told him, he said, pointing over across the ocean to Rome, he said, "There's some evil people over there. You better take the war to them before they could bring it to us. You better take the war to them." And this is what I'm saying to my people today. And everything is not on a physical basis. When we're talking about war, we're not talking about you going out here and bashing somebody over the head unless you have to protect yourself. We're not talking about that. Remember, as guardians of the universe, we are metaphysical beings. We actually function in a 720-degree realm, okay, when you include our metaphysical capacity. But you have people that have us functioning on a 90-degree level because they cannot function any higher than that. But Lance, I want to get something to show you real quickly. Hold on, show your viewers. Now I don't know how well you can see this, but I want to explain something to you. That and Lance, you're a much better drawer than me, but I think it's clear enough where it could be at least seen.
Oh, you're not bad, brother. No.
You know, I ain't gonna lie. I check out some of your stuff and I'd be like, now how could I get mine like that? Then I realize it's a gift. It ain't nothing that I can do. So, but these are the stages and the all of the areas of natural law. I should say, not stages. I'm sorry. These are all of the areas of natural law that Black people, why we are the guardians of the universe, and why Black men are the protectors. You see those electromagnetic waves? That's who you are. That is your power. No one else has that power. Where you can take 2 or 3 melanated people and they can alter, they can even call, when they used to say, they try to give credit to, you know, the $5 Indians, but our people used to actually make it rain. I've heard stories from my grandfather that we've actually could make it rain. So you also control the universal codes of 3, 6, and 9. You control that. That's why they copied that off of us. Your DNA makes you very special. In fact, that's why they keep splicing the DNA to try to find you. But it's beyond their comprehension. The sperm and the egg, that's you. The melanated sperm and the melanated egg. I was talking about that earlier. How if you look at each brother ejaculated 500 sperm, brother, you outnumbered. I can't even say how much you're outnumbered. The number is so astronomical. But think of all those seeds that are out. Okay, 90% of the people on this planet are people of color. And think of the 90% of melanated sperm. It overwhelms the other 10%. Even the female egg, the melanated egg. But down here, the vitamin D, seeds, and H2O. That's what I wanted to talk about. That's gonna solidify the fact that we are the guardians of the universe. So what I initially showed you was outside of our realm of comprehension, in the sense that this is why we've been taught in a 90-degree system, because we can't comprehend anything outside of what these physical eyes are showing us. That's why, and that comes from us being ingrained through the television and other forms of medium that they use. I was looking at a statistic where Black kids only spend 5 hours a week in study, but they watch more television than any other culture of people. So we looked at the celestial, while we say that we are guardians of the universe, we looked at the celestial elements that make us guardians of the universe. We looked at the electromagnetic spectrum. We looked at the codes that define us, the universal codes of 3, 6, and 9. We look at the sperm and the egg, which is inside of us. And that's all a part of our makeup in terms of the law of correspondence, as above, so below. So when we come down to the three elements on the earth, the H2O, the water, the seeds, and the vitamin D, then we have the comprehension because we can make the connection, okay, that we are the guardians of the universe and also of the planet. Because the H2O or the water that's used on the earth plane is not just in a physical sense, it's in a psychological sense as well. And so because we have this capacity, okay, then our ability to communicate, to do anything we want to do is as big as the ocean here on earth. Okay, so we can see ourselves as water because water holds memory as well. When we get to the seeds, we know that the black seed is the most powerful seed throughout nature, whether it comes through us, whether it comes through a melanated animal, whether it comes through a melanated plant. Well, chlorophyll is green melanin. So it has the same properties. And then there's vitamin D, which we all know that one day, you know, when people always say, as it was in the beginning, it shall be in the end. That's true. Because one day it's on because you have destroyed the ozone layer. Okay. The other thing is black men have never done anything to destroy anything on this planet besides eating the wrong foods. But the vitamin D and the sun, okay, which we need, is also going to be a judgment against all those who tried to destroy the creator's system. Not tried, they did. And to destroy the ecosystem, to cut down all the trees so you can print paper money. So here's the other thing. They have gotten us to a point where we exchange the creator's natural system for them. And I'm going to show you how it's done. They take the creator's natural system, ecosystem, cut down all the trees, but they give you something in return for it. Like in place of it, they give you the green money, the paper that is made from the trees. And that's just a way of explaining to you that if you look at everything in nature, okay, it will define what you're dealing with, and it will explain everything to you. So my brothers, you know, I want to do something maybe I didn't do before. I don't want people to think I'm being disrespectful, but if you have someone that want to entertain a question or something, I'm open for that. Or maybe Lance is not around, but I want to encourage you today that again, what we have to begin with is we have to begin with the fact that nothing is ever going to change until we do something to change it. Okay, so again, so we'll be clear. In nature, it teaches us in the three laws of motion, or the three laws of thermodynamics, is that when nothing happens, okay, but everything in the universe is constantly in motion, okay, but we have states of entropy, okay, where if the heat is not applied to that, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to go in motion. Okay, and how do we do that? The second law says that when we do put energy into motion, okay, then it is defined by mass and force. And again, you know, a lot of times we're taught to look at things through a physical perception. This is talking about a psychological and spiritual motion as well. So this defines how one of the tricks that magic tricks that they use against us, where you may not feel like you have enough mass or enough people to have the force that you need to put something in motion. Not true. Not true. You could take 2 or 3 people and psychologically produce the mass that's necessary for a force to move forward. We do that every time on the show. Okay, you come together and you put something in motion, and then an energy is created from that. Okay, but energy disperses once it doesn't. It either has enough mass to overcome the force. It has enough force, from the mass to keep going, or it will be slowed down. Now, how do they keep us in this condition? Because the third law of thermodynamics says that for every positive action and motion forward, that there is an equal and opposite, these being the 2 primary words, equal and opposite force, but it's going in the opposite direction of where you're going. Now that explains a lot. Okay, and so what Black people have to comprehend is every time we address one of these issues and push it forward, there is a natural force that's going to come clapping back at us, but we must stay the course. We must hold our feet to the fire. I know it's not easy. I know what you're faced with every day. Or I should say, I know what the potential of what you're being. No one knows what anyone is facing every day on an individual basis, but as a collective group, the other thing they're trying to do is eliminate our images and symbols, which are very, very critical. Okay, because what you constantly see, okay, this is why they're able to have these spells over us, because our pineal gland has been blocked partially, just living in this system, then instead of you interpreting everything from your chakras, your pineal gland, okay, and your open eye, instead of you interpreting everything that way through your natural way, you interpret it from your unnatural way. And this is what causes, you may not feel it right then, but it causes a severe psychological trauma subconsciously when this happens. And so the archetypes that we have, okay, I was telling Lance this once before, that all of the archetypes that are in the minds, and this is a hard statement, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, in the minds of the majority of Black people are white people, the archetypes, the things that we use as authority. So archetypes are the subconscious authorities that, validate what we take as truth in our lives. 99% of them are white. Now, this is something, when I was talking about we are at war, this is something that I'm talking about, that this war over the symbolic history of our people is very critical. That's why they continue to show you scenes from slavery and you being hanged from a tree. They're not going to show you pictures of, you know, people who have done great things for our culture. They're not going to show you these pictures. They're not going to even discuss them. And if you're not careful, they're going to be wiped from our history permanently and replaced. That's why many of the people who Europeans claim that are European are Black. Many of them. I've personally researched this. You would be shocked. You would be totally, totally shocked. But now, again, you know, now that we have the airways to produce our information and our true history, we're just wasting too much time on irrelevant things. So, brother, I got a 2:30 appointment.
Yes,
got
my
a
brother.
2:30 appointment. Yeah, I got a 2:30 appointment. I wanted to bring you in real quick to see if, again, I don't want to ignore the people in the chat room. If there's a couple of questions or a couple of people that want to interact with us, I have about 15 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, however you want to do it. If that's what you want to do, or if not, you know, I can sign out for this week.
Be up all night long. I'm gonna be up all night long. I got a tremendous amount of work to do. Files.
I know you are.
To daybreak, maybe till 4. Right now it's 9:46. I got the whole night ahead of me, so I'm just so happy with you. That's what I'm doing over here right now, so that's not a problem. I just want to drop this. Want to come in and actually say something and talk to you with their voice. You know, they don't have to show their face. They can come in this way and talk to you, and or they just want to leave a question in the chat room for you in that 15 minutes. I know you're a busy man, and
things are picked up a little bit. I'm trying to, you know, in order to move forward, you got to stay in motion. And I can't sit back and just wait for things to happen, brother. I got to make it happen. So I'm reaching outside the box and trying to connect with different people because, you know, it's just the time. You know what I mean?
They can just click that link right there. They'll come right into the show. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to, but like I said, it's all here for you. Or you can just leave a comment in the chat room or question. Yeah. I think, I'm not sure because I stepped away and I was like close by, but sometimes I'd step away back and forth. I think Melissa Grant, Melissa, she asked a question. I'll put it up here in the front. I'm not sure if that was directed to you, but it's like, what is the 6369 you mentioned? Please elaborate. If that's something that.
Great question. Great question. So our ancestors in the beginning, so in order to formulate language, you have to have concepts. You know, you can't formulate languages without concepts. And our people were master astronomers. I talked about Benjamin Banneker, the last video we did. So the 369 code, so the number 3 is very significant. As you can see, our people mapped out a lot of their culture based on the number 3. Many of the knowledge that is within the Medu Netter is based on these 3 numbers. But the number 3 specifically, if you look at the 3 pyramids, you look at the formation of the original family, which was Asar, Aset, and Heru, or Osiris, Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Okay, and then you look at the number 6 is a transitional number, where 6 is more like correspondence, like you're doubling 3. So it's like you are confirming something, like as above, so below. You're confirming it that what's the three as in heaven, it is on the earth. So you got three in heaven, you got three here. The mind, body, spirit. Okay. And these are all things you can look to how the number three has played a significant role just in the formation of things in our culture. The number nine, if you look at the number nine is the root number throughout the universe. So if you can look at seconds, days, hours, months, you can look at any type of statistic. And when you break it down, okay, it comes, the root number is 9. I'll give you a quick example. If you take 369, that's 18. You add the 1 and the 8, and that's 9, right? So, and we see these codes consistently in 9 months for a woman to produce life. So we see these codes consistently, not just throughout the heavens, but also here on the earth. Yeah, I don't know if that answered her question. Did that answer the question? Or
yeah, I guess you pretty much covered it.
okay. And you know, there's a lot more to those numbers, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I like I said, I wait for that. Yeah, she said yes.
Okay.
Communication from you, stating when we do our next show. I look for that.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. You know, definitely, most definitely. This is definitely good, man. This is good. The more people dialogue and communicate about things that really matter to the survival of Black people in all areas of human existence, the better it is.
That's right.
And this is why I appreciate you having a forum where you can discuss all types of issues. You know, this is another area where our people are pigeon-toed. You know, where they make you think, and they do that because, again, we are metaphysical beings, brother. We actually, our people communicated before phones and any of that stuff through telepathy. So there are still a lot of questions or things that have been done by our people in antiquity they can't answer, that they've tried to duplicate but cannot. And there is no other answer besides what, you know, the gifts that we have internally. And again, that melanin is not subject to, you know, the brain. We are beyond that, where we can connect with energy beyond the brain. We don't have to go through the regular synapses of the brain, neuronic synapses, in order for us to make, you know, some kind of connection. And this is what separates us from all people.
Excellent, my brother.
All right. Well, yes, sir.
I know you got that appointment. Doesn't seem now we could stay here another 5 hours, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, sir. I know we could.
And you got to get ready for it and everything. So we'll pick up on the next one. Like I said, I like to, you know, I'm long-winded.
Okay. So, I know, man. Yeah, you know, I could talk to you for hours, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a good thing. You know, some people you don't even want to talk to. After 5 minutes, you're ready to, like, looking for a way to cut the conversation.
It's like, oh, God, you know.
Yeah, what have I got myself into?
Yeah, but it's not that you feel better than anyone or you're condescending.
No, not at all.
Oh, God, here comes this person. You already know the vibration they're coming with.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
And you're like, okay, you're in a zone. You're going throughout your day. You're driving, and you're in sync with the universe. the light that just turned red, you get there, it turns green. You hit the elevator button. Even before you hit it, it opens up. Somebody gets on and hits your floor. Everything's in sync. You don't have to go to the bathroom, but you walk by the bathroom and then you got to go. You go and then get free. I mean, everything is in sync. And here you go. See this person, whether you know them or not. Even when you don't know them, you already know. You already know that. And we have someone. I think it's Ellie. She's coming on before brother. Yes, and she's showing her face, a beautiful face.
Oh, wonderful! Yes, love that smile.
Nice.
Man, she light up the room. Man, this is what I'm talking about. That's a real star. A pulsating star.
A star supernova and out look like a match is about to blow.
Supernova. Oh, wow. Yes, sir.
Talk to us.
Boy.
Hi.
She froze.
Greeting.
Image froze. Talk to us, sister. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just checked YouTube and I saw that you had a live stream and you were inviting people, and so I just decided to jump on.
Good. I'm glad.
Great.
Let me do something. You got all this energy, and she, I believe, Brother Frazier, is in the same a time zone, even though she's a little bit more up north. Look, you want to come on a little conversation because we haven't talked in a little while. Because brother Neil is about ready to go. I could fire something else up and we talk a little bit.
That'd be great. That would be great. Man, she got that. Hey, she got that energy that people need to see and hear right now. For real. That smile.
Yeah, sister.
Yes.
We need to update. See how you talk. It's been a while. So once we come off of this show, just give me 5 minutes to fire up another link. You know how we do. I'll shoot you the link. You come on and we'll freestyle. Okay?
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, your number I have on do I have it on WhatsApp? Because I got to get the link to you. Because I had changed phones. I got this little cheap Chinese phone until I get a better phone. My other iPhone, I lost it again. I was like, I'm never gonna do that again. So I want you to shoot me a number again, because I know it's in there, but it's a different format. So I'm gonna fire this up. Brother Neil Frazier, whatever parting words you want to say, we'll say an appointment. And Ellie, and to everybody in the chat room, we're gonna go on live after that. As soon as I can, I'll make the link. Probably take 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Boom, we're gonna come on. We're gonna come on. So, bare bones and ready to battle, not each other, but share inspirational words to the world, so we can draw strength from you and feed strength into you. How about that?
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
All right, my brother. Have a great day. Thank you.
Right.
24. We'll talk to you again.
Okay.
All right, 24/7.
I'm so glad you came on, Ellie. Brother Neil, this is wonderful. We're gonna separate segment. Give me a few and give me a call, Ellie. Just give me a call so I can get everything just straight in my phone. All right? We're gonna sign off on this one and we're gonna come back on a separate one. So everybody look out for that in a little while. We'll be back. Okay? All right.
Bye.